Hi friends, I'm Azaftar from Easy Approach, and in this video we are going to talk about Hive database in Flutter. And after covering the essentials, we will implement the Hive database. So first of all, let's see what Hive database is. Hive database is NoSQL lightweight offline database. Let me break it down for you. First of all, it's a database. It means we can store data in it. Secondly, it's a NoSQL database. It means it does not support SQL language, yet it provides its own way of performing CRUD operations. And last but not least, it's an offline database. It means that it stores data in the local device. So data can be only retrieved within the same device in which it is stored. Now let's see why are we interested in Hive and what's so crazy about it. When we consider data persistency in Flutter, the option that come first are SQLite and shared preferences. However, amongst them, it is the most efficient database in terms of speed and performance. Secondly, it provides a very easy way to perform basic CRUD operations. So you don't have to go in a lot of detail and a lot of complexity to store data and to perform query. Now let's talk about some important terminologies from Hive. The only thing that we are going to discuss in it is a box. In Hive, a box is a place in which our data is stored. The data is stored in a key value pair in a box, and you can relate it with the table from the RDBMS. However, the box has no structure. And now as we have covered all the details that are essential in order to implement the Hive in Flutter, so now we are good to implement Hive database in our Flutter application. So to implement Hive in Flutter, I'm gonna make a simple application of my best friends where I will store the names of my best friends. So before doing anything, let's see what are the dependencies we need to add in order to make everything happen. I mean, in order to implement the Hive database in our Flutter application. The very first thing that we need to add in our pubspec file is this Hive package. This gives us all the essential things in order to implement Hive database in Flutter application. Now the second dependency that we need to add is path provider. And I hope you have already used this package. This package provides us the path of most commonly used directory within the application. And I'll tell you in a moment why this will be useful when we are implementing Hive and Flutter. The very last thing is Hive_Flutter. This is also for the support of Hive, but this is more like specific to Flutter framework. Now, as we have covered what dependencies we need to add in order to make this thing happen, now let's see what's the code I've done so far to save the time. So here is the screen of the application, and that's the only screen of the application. So I have 3 buttons at the bottom. The first one is for add new friend, to add a new friend in the database. The second one is update a friend, and the third one is delete the friend. So I'm gonna perform all the CRUD operations in this application. And I have another button at the center, which is to show the values or the friends that we have added so far in the database. And another thing that I've done is I've showed a dialog on the tab of this add new, so that we can add a new entity. So let's see what's the code of this all. So for this screen, that's the only screen of the application, we have this my homepage widget, and you can see in my app widget, which is actually the root widget of the application, I've given here in the home this my homepage widget. That's this widget of this screen. So now let's see what's inside this my homepage widget. So here it is, the build method, and inside it we have used a scaffold widget, and in the body we have used column widget. And inside the column widget I have used a center widget in which I have placed a flat button. You can see over here in the red that's showing show inside it, and I've also wrapped it inside the expanded, so it takes all the available space in the column. And after this, at the bottom I have used a container in which I have a raw widget. And inside it, I have placed 3 different flat buttons. You can see over here. One is for add new, and the code is here. And the second is for update, and the third one is for delete. And I've used here the main axis alignment dot space around, so that you can see there is a space around every widget that's inside this raw widget. So that's it from this from the design. And now let's implement what we are going to implement. Now I want to add a new friend to the database. And if you remember, I've told you that in Hive, the data is stored in box. So we need to have a box first so that we can use it for storing the data and for retrieving the data. So for this, we first need to open a box so that we can use it for either storing the data or to retrieve or to even do anything, whatever you want to do. So we have to open the box when the application is started. So what we can do, first of all, we can remove this arrow notation and we can just go with the conventional one. And then we can use here asyncs because we'll be using a wait keyword inside the main. Now to use Hive in application, first of all, we need to initialize the Hive. So we have to use Hive, and inside it we have init. And here we have to specify the path where we have to store the data within the application. So we can give here the document directory of the application, or we can even give the temporary directory. And for getting the path of the directory, we have to use the path provider that we have added in the pub/spec file. So for getting the directory of document, what we can do, we have to make directory, and let's make it document. And we have a future get document directory. Yeah, here it is, get application document directory. And to get the path of this, you can use just document.path. So this is what you have to do first in order to use Hive. Now, once you have done with the initialization of Hive, now we can create a box. And for creating a box, we use the terminology of open the box. So for opening the box, you have to use here hive.openBox. And here you have to specify the type of the data that you'll be storing in this box. So I'll be storing just a string data, the names of my friends. And here you have to give the name of the box. So this name is like a name of the variable, and by the name of the box we can use them in the future. So just write here friends. So this is what we have to do in order to use Hive. First we have to initialize, and then we have to open a box that we'll be using in the future for storing the data. But if you can see over here, we are trying to communicate with the Flutter framework before running the application. So whenever you have to do some code before running the application, you have to ensure the Flutter widget binding. And for ensuring this, you have to write widgets and then Flutter binding, and inside it we have ensure initialize. So this is what you have to do if you want to run something before running your Flutter app. And now we have initialized the Hive, and we have opened the box, and now we can use it for adding new friend into this. So now, as I've already told you, I've showed here a dialog box in which I have two text fields and a submit button. And whenever the user would hit on the submit button, we would add a new friend into the box. And I forgot to show the code of this dialog box. So let's see the code. Here, first of all, I have initialized two controllers that I've associated with these two text fields. And inside this flat button, inside the on press, I've used show dialogs. I have given here the context. And inside the builder, I have returned a dialog widget, and inside it, whatever you'll put will be shown in the screen inside the dialogs. So I've used a container, and inside it I have a column widget, and inside it I have two text fields separated with the size box. And you can see here I've associated the controller that I've initialized above. The first one is ID controller, and the second one is for name controller. And here we have the submit button. And inside the on press, we'll write the code for adding new friend into the box. And now for adding a new friend into the box, we first need to get the reference of the box that we have opened. And once if you open the box, you can get the instance of the box anywhere in any screen in your Flutter application. So now let's see how we can get the reference of the box. First of all, what you have to do, you have to make the variable for the box. So the type of that will be a box of a string, and let's give it a friends box. And to refer this or to initialize this, we have to use hive dot inside it we have a box, and you have to specify the type of the box, and you have to specify the name of the box you want to refer, and you have opened it before. So we have friends box, and make sure the name is same. We can also make a constant variable for this, and we can use the same one everywhere. But let's move forward. And now we have referred the box as well. We have first opened the box, and after that we have referred the box, and now we can use it for storing the data. And now if you remember that I've told you that we store data in the box in the form of key value pair. So first of all, for storing the data, we first have to get the reference of the box. So here it is, friends box, and inside it we have a future which is put, and it is used to add something to the box. And as you can see here, we have to give the key as well as the value. And the key for each value should be unique. So you can see over here, we have used two text field. One is for ID and the second one is for name. Or you can say this one is for key and this one is for value. So first let's get these value from the text fields. And let's make a key. And it should be from ID controller. Okay, oh, what I'm doing. So I need to get it inside the on press. And inside it, we have to get the text. And similarly, for value, we can use the second controller, which is the name controller. And this is how we can get the value. So just we have to put something like this, and this is it, what we have to do for adding new data or new friend into the box. And now let's run the application. And make sure first we open the console so that we can see if there is any error. Oh, there's an exception. Box not found. Did you forget to call hive.openbox? But we have opened the box. Oh yeah. So we forgot to put here await, and we have to wait for the box to be open completely. So we have to use here await until the box is completely open. And now let's run it again, and let's open this one again, and let's clean this thing. Yeah, now you can see there isn't any exception. So this is it, and now we can add a new friend. So let's add something. Click on this. This would open the dialog, and first of all, here we have to give the ID or the key, and this should be unique. So let's give just A, and here I am giving the name of my best friend. So my best friend is Taha, and now just hit submit. So I don't know if it's submitted or not, so we can check it, but we have to do one thing. Let's write a code for closing or dismissing the dialog box. You can just use .pop on navigator.pop, and now let's run the application again. So make sure we have added, just remember we have added one friend, and I'm gonna add a new friend. So the dialog is appearing, and now let's give it B, and it should be unique because we have given A, we cannot give it now. And now the second friend, which is one of my best friends, is Saad. And now let's submit. So you can see the dialog is now dismissed. And now let's see how we can get those values that we have stored in the box. So what I'm doing, I'm going in the on press of this show flat button that I've, here it is. And now inside it, I'm writing the code for getting all the data that we have stored in the box so far. Or for now, just let's get the first friend, that's my best friend. And if you remember the IDs that we have given, so I've given A to Taha and I've given B to Saad. So I'm interested in getting the name which is on the ID A. So for getting the data from the box, if you have the ID, we first have to refer the box. And inside it, we have a method .get, which returns us the value of the provided key. So if you remember the key of Taha, it was A. So I'm just giving here A. And what I'm doing, I'm printing this value on the console. And now let's run the application. It should print console. It should print Taha on console when I tap on this show. So let's open the console. And let's tap on this. You can see it's showing Taha, and we have stored the value of Taha with the key A. And same if I want to print, if I want to show the name of Saad, if I want to see the name of Saad and I have stored it on B. So let's run this. It's same like map if you have already used it. So if I click here, you can see here the value that we are getting is Saad and we have stored it on B. So this is one way of getting the value from the box. You can get it with providing the key. And there's another way to get the data from the box. You can provide the index as well. So you can write get at, and inside it you have to provide the index. And whatever will be added first will have the index 0. So just run the application again. So it should print Taha because we have added Taha at first. Yeah, you can see here, it's showing the Taha. So there are two ways to get the data. You can specify the key or you can even give the index. And you can see here the box is also assigning the auto increment IDs with all the values that we are adding. So this is a good nature of box. We can either get the data from key or we can get it with specifying the ID. And now I want to show all the friends, all the data that's in the box in a list view. But I want to make that list listenable to the data in the box. It means whenever we do some changes in the box, like we add some new friend, like we updated a friend or delete the friend, the list should also be updated. For this, we have a widget which is called Value Listenable Builder. So what I'm doing, I'm removing this all thing, the center widget, and I'm using here Value Listenable Builder. Here it is. So first of all, we have to define a property which is value listenable. So we have to provide here the listenable instance of the object that we want to listen to and to build UI whenever that object changes. So here we actually need to provide the listenable instance of the box so that whenever there is something change in the box, so the UI gets changed also. So for that, we first have to get the box, and inside it we have listenable. So this is what you have to done. And now we have to define the builder. And the builder is something that gets called whenever there is some change inside the listenable or inside the box. So first of all, we have a context here. And then here we can get the instance of the box. And at the last, we have child, and we don't have to care about the last thing. And inside it, we can just use list view dot separated. And here we first have to give the item count of how many items we would have in the list. So we would have, first of all, we have to get the friend box. Yeah, we can just access it with the friends because this is the listenable box. And inside it, we have keys. And we can convert it into list. And then we can get the length. So this is how many number of times you would have the items in the list. And in the item builder, we can first give here context. And then we have the index of the list item that we will be showing at that time. So what I'm doing, I'm using a list tile. So I am showing the key in the list tile as the subtitle. And I'm also showing the name of the friend in this list tile as a title. So let's define here title. But let's first get the key of that index. So for getting the key, if we can just write final, and here we can write key. And first we have to get the list of the keys, and then we have to get that specific key on that index. So you can write something like this. And for this key, we have to find the value. So you can find the value friends.get, not get at. You just have to use get because we have key, and you just have to specify the key. So now we have get the key, and we have got the value as well. So just make here title, and here just give the key. sorry, in the title we have to give the value. So here we can give the value, and in the subtitle I'm going to show the key, or maybe we can remove this. Yeah, this is it. And we have to give here the separator builder as well. So just make here, just return here the divider so that it divides every list item. So this is it. Yeah, we have done everything, and now let's run the application. This should show all the items that we have added so far in the box, the Saad and Taha, with the key and values. And you can see here that it's showing all the keys and values that we have added in the box. Maybe I can make it a little bolder so that it you can see it prominent. And now it's a little bit bolder, but I think we should increase the font size too. So now let's make it 22. And let's make this thing prominent as well. But not 22, let's make it 16. And now let's refresh it. Yeah, and now it's more readable. Maybe make it 20, maybe 18. Okay. And now let's try to add another friend, because I want to show you that it's listening to whatever we are adding into the box. And now let's make C as the key. And here we have Aliza. Let's submit it. And you can see once I submit it, it's showing it in the list. So this is great. So it's actually because of value listenable builder, because it's live listening to the box. And it's showing, it's rendering the UI whenever there is some change in the box. So now let's see how we can update some data into the box, and how we can delete it. So first, let's see for the update. So for now, we have nothing inside the on press of update. So we haven't showed the dialogues as well. So what I'm doing, I'm just copy this code of dialog box, and I'm just pasting it inside the on press. And for updating the value in the box, we have to do the same thing like we are doing for writing something in the box. Basically, we have to provide the key of the existing value, and we have to give the new value. So this is something like we are writing a brand new data with the existing value. So this results in the updating of the existing data. So now let's try it. Just hit on update. This would show dialog box. Maybe I haven't refreshed it. Let's run it again. Now let's tap on it. Yeah, and now it's showing. Now what I'm doing, I'm using the same key like for Taha. So I'm giving the key A. And now I'm making here fussy. And now let's submit. So you can see it has updated the data. So for updating the data is something same like we are adding a new data with the existing ID. And now at the loss, now let's see what we have to do for deleting the data. So I'm just pasting the same code for the dialog box. But for now, for deleting the data, we just need to get the key of the data that we want to delete. So we can just remove this this whole thing, the name text field. We can just go with the key text field. And what we have to do, we can just get the key. And for deleting, we have to get first the box, and inside it we have delete. So here we have to specify the key of the data that we want to delete. So this is it. It's just a simple, as I said, it's the Hive provides you an easy way to do CRUD operations. Now let's run the application again. So now let's tap on this delete. And now you have to specify the ID of the data you want to delete. because Saad is in between Fussy and Aliza, and I want to delete him because the combination of Fussy and Aliza would be great. So what I'm doing, I'm just giving the ID B, and now let's hit submit, and you can see the data is now deleted. And whoa, we have covered the Hive. And as I said, the Hive database is a local database and it stored everything in the device itself. So if I close the application, so if I open it again, so it should contain the data that we have added so far, because it's the Hive provides us the data persistency. We can store the data for permanent basis unless the user itself gets to the option settings and he deletes itself. So now you can see the application is starting, and I hope we can see the data that we have added in the last. Yeah, you can see it's showing Fussy and Aliza, the great combo, and we have added in the before we close the application. So this is it from this video. In this video, we have learned Hive, how we can integrate Hive, and how we can use the basic CRUD operation in the Hive. And in the next video, we'll cover some more detail about Hive, like how we can store some custom data type in the Hive box. Because we have to do something different for that. So anyways, if you like the video, please give a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel. And please share the videos with those who want to learn Flutter with easy approach. So thank you for watching.